1. Practice social distancing. 2. Wear your mask when leaving the house. 3. Wash your hands regularly for 20 seconds using our Deck soap. 4. Cover your nose and mouth with a disposable tissue or flex elbow when you cough or sneeze. Choose Deck soap for that extra cleanliness. Deck soap is affordable and available nationwide.
It is 13 hours 8 in Guyana and right across the Eastern Caribbean. Good afternoon, wherever you're listening to us on this beautiful Monday morning. Monday afternoon, that should be. It is the 7th day of September 2020, and it's time for us to enter Wake Up Guyana with senior journalist Leonard Gildarie. Leonard, a pleasant good afternoon to you, and how are you this afternoon?
Pretty good there, Joshua. And you guys hearing us very clear in the studio there?
Yeah, you're clear.
And I thank you very much. And let me tell you what's happening down here in my neck of the woods in Diamond here. There's thunder and the place is getting dark outside, lots of breeze there. So if for any chance that I get kicked off, it means that we have a power outage. You know what happens whenever there's thunderstorm and rain and so on. And so let's get down right into it. There's many things to talk about today on this September the 7th, and a brutal murder, shocking double murder in Berbice, West Berbice, that has united the country. Widespread condemnation as protesters blocked the road over the evening and uh, basically pushed authorities to start acting. The police would have held a press conference, and the leaders of government would have issued statement in wide condemnation of this killing of two teens. It has united this nation against what has been a very shocking case, which has been in some quarters being said it has some racial undertones to it, which has been dispelled in some other areas, which is said is clearly a very wicked, a very a cruel act by a number of persons who are protecting the coconut industry. However, there's no excuse for murder, as was seen by of these two teens who were so brutally chopped that they were left in the in some Baghdad areas, not too far away from the coconut plantation estate that is there in the cotton field area, West Bubis. And that has angered so many Guyanese. I did not get to sleep last night. In fact, my phone was ringing off the hook for the entire evening, the entire night, and I got to bed till around 4 o'clock this morning, grabbed 2 hours, and then was back up it again. This morning, you would have seen a press conference coming out from the Ministry of Home Affairs. And so, in a very short while, we are going to be joined by a social commentator, Mel, and you're no stranger to her. She has been talking about issues which would have been affecting us over the years, and taking to social media talking about that. It's always interesting talking to Mel and having her very candid thoughts, commentaries on issues that will affect Guyana. But I want to welcome you to this edition of the Wake Up Guyana show. I'm your host, Leonard Gildarie, and you are tuned in to Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5. You could also get us on Kaieteur Radio on Facebook, on Kaieteur Radio live stream on YouTube. I want to say good day to all, including Joshua Van Slightman, who's manning the controls. We've been at it. We're working on the staff because we're practicing social distancing. And so it's a skeleton crew there, and the guys are working hard over there. Thank you very much for that, Joshua. And of course, to our beautiful people across this country. We are saddened at the moment to hear about this double murder, which has gripped this country, which has shocked this country to the core, would have seen widespread condemnation of the Henrys, I think 2000s there, and one is 19 and one the other one, but 16, 17 thereabout. And so this is not something that you would want to see. Their sons, their family, their relatives, their friends of somebody, their work colleagues, and most of all, they're citizens of this country. This country should never, ever It does not matter tolerated, and there should be a widespread condemnation who should be using this attempt here as a racial issue that has some ethnic undertones, and people have been capitalizing on that. That's not something to tolerate either. We should be bringing these culprits, these perpetrators, these murderers to justice as early as possible. And the police have already made it very clear, along with the Minister of Home Affairs and even the President of Guyana, Irfan Ali, as well, would have come out with statements today, last evening, with regards to what they felt about this horrendous, shocking act of these two people that were killed, these two teens in the prime of their life, who would have just gone to pick up some coconuts. Whether we steal a coconut from the next door neighbor or not is beside the point. I would have grown up stealing coconuts from my next door neighbor, stealing the fowl, stealing the straw apples, stealing the fruits, and so it is part of the life growing up. More so in the countryside, you go down into the back dam, you pick some fruits and so on, you come back. It is all part of growing up, and so to use that and brutally and put an X in the middle of the fire with cutlass that was, or whatever it is that was used. It was so shocking seeing those scenes and the family. I can't even begin to think what would have been the thoughts and the mothers and the relatives and friends who would have seen those horrific images being displayed on Facebook and on social media. So I want to say good day. This is the Wake Up Guyana show, and we are going to be talking about this and so many other things today. In addition to those two teens, this would have seen a blocking of the road there in the Cotton Tree area there, number 5 village. People would have been blocking the road because they want swift justice. They're demanding swift justice in it. And so already the police have arrested the owner of a plantation, a coconut plantation that is in the cotton field area. He, his son, and a handyman are in custody at the moment. And so leader of the opposition, Joseph Harmon, as well as former President David Granger would have joined into that area. That's how much important this particular the shocking incident would be to Guyana. There would have been a burning of tires, blocking of the road. The police have a presence there in the West Bobisi area. And we are going to be talking a little bit that in a very short while. Going to be joined by Mary Mill. And this morning also, we should tell you what one of the big news that should be affecting you. One of the things that should be affecting you is that the Harbour Bridge is in a very bad state in terms. There is need for emergency works. They would have halted yesterday any river traffic after one opening. That's because there has to be some emergency works. And with regards to how it's affecting road traffic, heavy vehicles have been halted until they could find an alternative. And they would have been truck drivers and others who would have been very upset this morning because their livelihood at stake here. They would have met with the Minister of Public Works, Juan Edgel, and he would have met with them and tell them that there's some alternatives that they're looking at, but not fixing this bridge right now is not an option. It is in a bad state. It has some structural defects, and so they have to fix this. And so we're looking at that case right now. As we speak right now, we have President Irfan Ali and his Vice President by Jagdeo. They're all hosting a press conference, and they'll be talking about that shocking incident up in Berbice as well as some other developments, maybe oil and other things. I know the reporters are there. You could probably catch us here. It's going live right now on our radio and our social media, on YouTube and maybe on Facebook there. You could also get us there. This live press conference that's happening. So we are going to be joining you with that. We would bring you back in a very short while to what the big developments are with regards to that $25,000 that you would have been hearing about. You would recall that we had our 592, the last show, the grand finale on Friday after 5 months hitting at it. And we would have had as one of the many guests Dr. Vindi Prasad as the Minister of Human Services, and she had quite a mouthful to say. So we're gonna come back to you because right now I want to say welcome to our guest. We have right now Melly Mel, and Melly Mel is no stranger to Guyana. She has been a radio personality, would have been around the social media, a very powerful voice in terms of she would have been addressing issues affecting all of us women, domestic violence, making a voice known, and generally commenting on issues. And she has quite a following. She's over all the way in Atlanta, Georgia. What are you doing there, Melly? It is a very far distance. Why are you away from Guyana?
I actually came to visit some families. So I've been here. I've been in New York for like a month or so now. So I just decided to venture over to Atlanta for a few weeks.
All right, and I know right about now we have the a little kind of mini storm going on in Diamond here. Lots of thunder, the wind is heavy. So I was telling people, don't be surprised if we get a power outage on here, and that would be the end of Wake Up Guyana for today. So I want to say welcome to you. You're looking pretty well, and I want to say
Oh, thank you.
welcome to all of the people who joining us across the United States, who joining us right across Canada, in Europe, right across the Caribbean. I want to say good day to you in Brazil, Suriname, French Cayenne, of course, all the way from St. Lucian. So, it has been a very long weekend. I didn't sleep last night because of this incident that should never have been. And I know, Melly, you would have been paying attention to it.
Um,
And what are some of your thoughts? What is it that you think?
First of all, before I start, Gregory, I just want to, send my condolences to the family and friends of those boys. As a mother of teenage boys, I have a nephew who's a teenager. I can begin to imagine what they're going through, what is happening there. And of course, we can't imagine unless we're in, we're in their position. But I just want to send out my condolences to the family and the friends. And I just want to encourage their neighbors and their friends and the people that are around them because they'll need their support more than anything right now. So I just want to encourage them to rally around them and support them while they go through this investigation and why we try to demand justice for Isaac, why we try to demand justice for these boys. What are my thoughts? When I saw it last night, unfortunately, my Facebook has been blocked for like a month now. When I saw the post last night about these two young boys being murdered, I was like, what? And then I read and I saw the video started circulating, the pictures started circulating, how they were basically slaughtered and cut. Their throat was slit. The 19-year-old, his stomach was just burst open. I if you're a mother and you didn't shed a tear when you saw the video, when you saw that pictures, it was so heartbreaking. And it's just sad. It's just sad. And but the sad truth is this is reality. This is what is happening. This is what basically happen in the country area. People go pick mango, coconut, and it's a normal thing. Growing up as a guy, as a Guyanese, as a teenager, you would go to the neighbor, regardless of if I hear people are saying that, oh, they shouldn't have, they shouldn't be stealing or they should have asked and all these things. And so I was like, what? I mean, that's a way of life for us Guyanese growing up in the country. And you steal your mango, you steal your neighbor mangoes, you go, you pick. It's just two innocent young teenage boys just going about their everyday life, their business. So you basically murder two young teenager for what?
Well, that's the entire thing. Like I was telling somebody this morning, who didn't steal a neighbor Falcock or something? Who didn't go across and steal the breadfruit or something? I mean, these are things. I mean, you're going down there. How much a coconut? A coconut, $100, $200. I mean, if you see the brutality of this, and they were actually they seem to have been killed elsewhere and dragged to another place.
And
I
that's
can
the
understand.
thing. But
And,
you were
and
smart enough to kill them somewhere else and then take their body to another, because I heard where they tried to put the body, they didn't think that people would have actually went out and find these two boys. How they, because I think they take it all the way to the back dam or something, hoping that nobody will find them, that they would just disappear. So which means that they actually thought that they would have gotten away with it.
Well, there's some based on the circumstance or the stories that are coming out here. It's very very clear that this seems to be. I don't think it's so much premeditated. I think it happened because if you did something like that and it happened that you killed them, you would have taken the necessary actions. I think they panicked. Something happened. And but for you to do that, that brutality in the entire situation, it takes a different kind of human being to do that. And I
And
don't care
and
which,
you would have had to
yeah,
have time too. Not just somebody that is inhumane. You would have had to have time to actually carve. If you saw the picture, ooh, if you saw the picture and you notice how they carved that X to that cross to the side of one of the teenager face. You had to have time to do all of that, to bust them open, slit the throat, and all these things. You would have to have time to do all of that and then move their body from one location to another location.
yes. And you know, Mel, one of the things that is really, really coming out of the story here, because you know, a simple, well, I won't use the word simple, and act like this. That, you know, whenever we do stuff, we should always think of repercussions of the implications of what we're doing. And this is a classical case. This one or these two incidents here, as horrendous as it is, has spilled over into the political divide. It has spilled over. This is a community, number 5 village, and the cotton tree area there. And
Mhm.
so it is divided, the Indians and the Afro Guyanese. I would say all Guyanese. I don't like using those terms.
Mhm.
But the fact is, we start pointing fingers. So imagine these people here would have caused this thing here, and that is why I think that the authorities have acted. The police were accused of taking too long to issue statements because this
First
would
of
have
all,
to be a rude
exactly.
awakening.
And
So
then
so
when
this,
you did issue a statement, you just issued a brief statement as though it's just a regular case you're just taking up, as though these two young boys' life, it didn't matter. You can't just issue a brief statement. A crime as gruesome as this, you would at least need to brief the public, let them know that you're working. And I think that's what made people angry as well, is that these two young boys were slaughtered and you just came out and gave a brief statement and you just like, oh, you're investigating.
yes, absolutely. And so
I
by
could
this one
understand
very
it,
act, it
Gildarie.
has
I could
crossed so many.
understand
Yes, go ahead.
Gregory, I could understand you not wanting to give, too much of information because you want to catch a person that you don't want to give out too much information what you have right now, because of course you want to hold each and every one of them that are involved in this accountable. But still, you can't just give a brief statement and just went about your business. No, we need answers. Why were these boys slaughtered? Who is being arrested? I read just now that now 3 persons are now in custody.
Yes. How the back dam is located, I think you could walk along a dam, and there are farms alongside the dam that is located there. There seem to have been tracks that the people who were going into the back dam noticed leading it into this coconut estate. And when they went there, they saw some blood stains. So they start searching from there, and they would have found the coconut peel. I think it's a metal thing that looks like a crowbar, that they
Yeah.
found that there and so on. So when they branch off, going into different direction, one man said that he stumbled on the body, and the description is not something how he saw the bodies, how they were lying. It's not something I would want to repeat here, but he says it was located far away from the blood scene. So there seemed to have been some attempt to do that, but the police were able to say, look, the blood stains are here. This coconut estate belongs to this gentleman. They picked up that gentleman, and this morning they went back, and I think they arrested the son and they arrested the handyman. And so 3 people, those are the 3 people that are in custody. And so this situation has gotten so bad because it's on one side you have the blacks, the Afro Guyanese living there, and the other side Indo Guyanese, and we shouldn't even be calling that, because this is something that really irks me. We all Guyanese, but the fingers start pointing right away, all because of this incident here, and it goes to show to the very
Not only that, Gregory, but all because of how we as Guyanese for years have been playing, all because of how politicians, let me correct
right.
myself, because of how politicians for years have been playing the race card when it comes to politics, and they play the race game when it's convenient to them, when it's most convenient to them, and that is when it's election time. This country has been and we as youths have an older generation, the older generation that is basically telling us, oh, vote race, vote black, vote Indian. Because this is something that they're preaching and they're embedding in their children and they're embedding it in generation from generation to come. They continue. We need to hold our leaders accountable because of the fact that they continue to play the race card when it comes to politics. Every time when it's political time, the country is divided between Indian and black, and that this shouldn't be. In 2020, this shouldn't be. But the reality is that it's here, and this is what is happening.
And if there's any one case, I can't remember for a very long time, if there's any one incident that has really galvanized Guyana into being one, unified on a particular issue, this would have been it. Because when you see some of the things, of course, it also brought on some of the opportunists because they played the race card there. And this is something, I ended up started blocking like crazy because I couldn't understand. I started even getting attacked. You were part of Kaieteur News, and why didn't you open your mouth? And then the other side, you saw some people, both sides of the divide. Very,
Yes,
very dirty. I saw something that was terrible.
You can't win on either side because
No.
because it's a back and forth. And I wish that people will see, what is it people like myself try to do when I remain neutral. When I say I remain neutral, I don't, when it comes to the two main political parties, I don't take side. I don't take side. I call a spade a spade. I say when something is wrong, I say it's wrong. When it's right, I say it's right. I give Jack the jacket. If they do something that is worthy of praises, I praise them. But when they do something that it's not something, it doesn't sit well with me, it's not right, then I speak out against it. And I have maintained that I am not affiliated with the PPP or the APNU AFC, but my platform, my voice is not for politics. It's not for racism. I'm just not playing into that. I'm just not feeding into that because that is not what it represents. That's not what I want it to represent.
And we should not. And Mel, I like those kind of language because we as Guyanese are sitting here. I think people, because the see Gildarie has a kind of hair and the see Mel has a kind of hair that they believe that you should be of a particular thing. And let me make it very, very clear here.
Let me say this too, Gregory. I blamed you. If anybody that's listening here, I blame you. I blame you. For instance, I'm getting confused. I blame you. Sometimes I blame the citizens too. For those of you that sit back and see your friends make a racial remark or a racial slur or do something that is racial, that sit back there and you just passed it and you say nothing, you don't pull them up, you don't say anything about it, you don't like tap them like, hey, that was you're being racist. What you posed there was racist. What you're saying are being racist. I blame you too for encouraging them, because if you sit back and you have a friend that is racist and you say nothing, you have a family member that is racist and you say nothing, you basically encourage them and you basically saying to them that it's okay, that this is okay and it's all right because you didn't say nothing.
And you're so right there that we all bear responsibility for this. And let me make it very, very clear. I feel proud that last night I saw people from all divides coming on board, and we should understand that these things, when it affect us, let's go to that Barbies incident there. People started burning tires and blocking the road. That has a direct impact on commerce and transportation. So many things. It stopped Barbies from connecting with the Demerara and so on and so forth. And so when you see things like that happen, it has an impact to the rest of the country. This is not something that is there. It is long term. Nobody should take it that this is something normal. It should happen and let's get over with. Next day, what's next? This is not how it happens. We should put a stop in it right now and do it. And that's what people did last evening. I like that kind of attitude. However,
because this is not, listen, this is and I like that. And people need to come out and need to speak up. And for me, what I would like to see, I would like to see those the Indo Guyanese that are there, that are on Facebook condemning the action, condemning this gruesome crime. Here's what I would like to see. I would like to see them out there in the streets with their black brother and sister saying that this was wrong and we are not promoting this. We're not promoting racism. Take the street. come together, show that we're unified against this, and that we won't be encouraging this, we won't be encouraging and tolerating these sorts of crime, whether it was because these two young teenage boys were black, but whatever was the motivation behind this. I can't begin to understand. I don't wanna speak on it until I know for sure, or till I hear what is coming out from the investigation from the police as to the reason why this was done. Because
Well, we
at
should.
this point,
There's so many
I
questions.
refuse
Yeah.
to believe that it was just for coconuts.
No, no. There's and people can't understand because what
I can't
I
understand.
don't. Yeah. What would lead you to do such a, because if you still saw the injuries, the damage to the teens' bodies, I mean, it has to take some kind of special human being. But the special is not such a good word. It had to take some kind of depraved mind that would have been able to inflict such wounds on
And
somebody.
don't get me
I
wrong, I don't think this just wasn't one person. I
No,
don't
no,
think
no. There's
I
definitely
don't
no, no.
think
It
that
has
this
to
is
be
just
more.
one person
These are
did
two.
and two.
These are
This
two young, strong
No, these are
teens,
two
and they would
young,
have been
strong,
right.
I'm sure very agile, healthy young boys. So it could never be a 57-year-old man that just do this by
No, no,
himself.
no, no.
I
And
don't think
three
there's one,
persons.
two. I think they're quite there are a number of them, and we need find each and every one of them.
They have to, somebody would have to pay. But I think also what I would like to see, because this might be an opportunity for us to start looking at it very serious. During the election time, it raised its heads, and on both sides of the divide. Coming to now, this is a conversation that we need to have because it is going to hamper our development going forward. It
Yeah.
is. It's big. It's coming up now, and let us don't try to say bury your heads in the sand like the ostrich and say, look, this thing is not happening. It is
No, this
happening.
is happening. This is racism is very alive and well in Guyana. It's very alive and well, and politician needs to start addressing it. This is not something that you're gonna cover up. A systematic racism exists. Racism in the workplace exists. Racism in when you go into a store to buy something, it exists. It's alive and well. It's among us every day, and politicians need to start addressing it. Whether you want to, this is not something you're just gonna cover down, and then you choose to play the race card when the next 5 years when it's election again, then you come out and you talk about, oh, and you try to play that race card again. The politicians have been encouraging it for years. You have been encouraging all of the AP and the AFC pages and the PP pages that they have that's circulating on Facebook. All of you that are encouraging those racist idiots to comment every day on the post that these pages are making, those pages needs to shut down as well.
I agree
Because you
with you
sit
full
there,
stop
you
there.
don't block them. Yeah, you have a page, you have a platform, you have thousands of followers, and you have people there that are basically being racist every single day commenting, and you're not doing anything about it. You know who are behind those pages. You very well know who are behind all those pages. Shut the pages down. Block them when they make a racist comment. You can comment, you can comment, you can disagree with something without resorting to being racist.
I agree with you there, Mel, and this is the conversation has to start now. And I see one of the viewers, listeners, this is a comment, and I so agree with you. Color was not in our books as a child growing up. If you do something wrong, black or Indian, it doesn't matter. They break a whip and they beat your backside. And so these are things, back in the days, we were all playing cricket in the street. We were all picking fruit. I used to steal my neighbor. I used to get so much licks because of the wrong things that we do. But my neighbor would probably never ever contemplate that they would kill you because of that.
Because
I
of
mean, I
yeah.
don't understand. What is so much anger that you would? These are two little boys that had the prime of the life before them. But let us see where it goes. Mel, this is something I think I'm gonna have to bring you on back so many times from now,
Yeah, I would, because
because
I don't wanna, like I said, I don't wanna comment too much, because I right now I can't fathom the what are, like I can't bring my mind to begin to understand what it is that could, like I said, I don't think this was about coconuts. So, and if this is about coconuts, if you basically butchered and slaughtered these things like animals over coconuts, I like, like you got to be sick in your head. Something definitely got to be wrong with you.
absolutely. So this is a wake up. This is a clarion call to all Guyana. We need to get our acts together and address it, take the bull by the horns, and stop this
Yeah,
nonsense right
the,
now.
This is not, yeah, you need to stop it now. We need to put a stop to it now. We need to go out there and protest. Like I said, I would love to see my Indian brother and sister going out
Of
there in
course.
support of your black brother and sister and going out there condemning this act, calling on the police, put pressure on the Guyana police force, put pressure on this administration to bring these perpetrators to just before the court. We need justice. We need justice for these boys.
Absolutely. So Mel, I want to say thank you very much. I know that you're a very busy girl, and I know that
Yes,
Atlanta.
thanks for having me.
No, and so I'm gonna be contacting you, and I hope to have you sometime back because there's so many other things that I know that you're very versatile in terms of talking, and so we are gonna have those conversations in the
So
coming
sure, true.
days.
Because I have a few other things. I'm glad I have a few other. I have like two other issues that I'm dealing with right now that I wanted to post. But when I saw when I saw these young teenage boys being murdered and stuff, I just decided to push it back for now because I
Yeah, the
think we need to
country.
deal with this. We need to have this conversation, and I want to focus on getting justice for these young men. So I'm just gonna push that back for now and wait. Let me relax. Let me see what's happening with the investigation, and let me wait to see what will happen.
Yes, thank you very much, dear Mel, and we
Thanks
will
for
be in
having me, Gregory.
contact. And God bless you, my sister. Take care. Bye
You
bye.
too.
So
Bye.
that was Mary Mel all the way from Atlanta, Georgia, the United States, and we would have been talking there about this shocking case of two boys, two teens murdered in the prime of their life, and we're still waiting the details of what would have been the motive. We're hearing it over coconut, and if that being the case, that is crazy, really, really crazy. In the meantime, we are gonna tell you the truck drivers across the Damara River they are up in arms over the closure of the bridge, and they're deeply worried because of the loss of income. And the authorities, the Ministry of Public Works, would have been meeting with them this morning. As you recall, over the weekend it was announced that the bridge would be closed to river traffic as well as to heavy vehicles. Light vehicles will be allowed to cross as emergency works are being carried out. And so we are waiting to get some more details how long that is likely going to last. But they have to do the work right now. We have one bridge, we need another bridge, and that has to be a priority for this government. It's going to take about 300 million US dollars to get us another bridge, and they should make that as early as possible. As we speak right now, there's an ongoing press conference with President Irfan Ali as well as his Vice President, Bayard Jagdeo. And we are, before we head to the front page and before we open up the lines to callers, I'm going to bring you some details here of an interview that we had with Dr. Vindi Prasad that would be of interest to many Guyanese who are interested in their pension and assistance that is going to come through the Ministry of Human Resources. And this is what she has to say, that the president is going to be making some announcement, maybe as early as today, with regards to those $25,000. I think that that is what the press conference is on. They are going to be talking about how those monies are going to be shared out, distributed under what method, whether it's through the post office, whether it is going to come through some other means, depository account, and so on. She's saying that her ministry, this is Dr. Vindhya Prasad, Minister of Human Services, saying that her pension is a personal thing that she is pushing, and she says that she's coming up with the different ways in which she could make it easier for pensioners to receive the pension that her ministry will distribute. Right away, she's taken out about 3,400 persons out of the 5,600 persons who's receiving pensions, and those 3,400 persons are going to have their pensions delivered to some or the other to the homes of these persons, and so that's a big thing that is going to be coming up. She's saying that uh, uh, they are looking at some other ways, other venues like Western Union, MoneyGram, even direct deposits to the bank account for these pensions. That is something that they want to look at. So we are going to continue to bring that to you. She says she has applied, she has made representations to the government because it's not something that they promised for an increase in pension. We could very well see that in the budget that is going to come out, increase for pensioners. So that's coming from the Ministry of Human Services. This has nothing to do, mind you, with the with the NIS pensions or the government pensions that you will see. It has to do with the Ministry of Human Services or Social Protection pensions that she's talking about, and she's also talking about the healthcare for workers, the children of the healthcare frontline workers that they are going to pay for. If you apply, you could go maybe start online very shortly, or you could find a way of applying. If you are a policeman, whether you are a healthcare worker and other professionals, whether it's in the fire service or the prison service, you could apply for them to pay a childcare services for to look after their kids while you're at work. Because right but now many parents have been left high and dry because of COVID-19, and the kids are not going to school, and so you can actually pay for them to be looked after now, and that's something that they're introducing. She's also moving to have some right away more help interventions for domestic violence victims. Instead of you going to search for help, there's going to be that help, and one person is going to take you through, maybe take you through to the police, give you counseling, and even take you up to the court system. So there's going to be more help for persons who would have suffered from domestic violence. And that's a very good thing, because many persons would have been complaining that the system was not doing enough for them. And of course, there's going to be more counselors for youngsters, for teens who might be termed disruptive or who might have issues, and that the country is looking out for these kids, because not everybody might be a little stable like you and me and myself and others, and so there is going to be some help for them. Somebody called this morning and they were complaining about the Grove Back Street area there, Grove East Bank, about waterways, about the drains being dug there. I did reach out to the NDC, and the NDC says they are going to walk around. People are building drains, even a big supermarket there, going to block the drains, and the water is not being flowed. I did do that. Somebody did ask me also whether, if you were back to the United States, whether you need a COVID-19 test. I called the US Embassy this morning, and they said that they're not operating today. Call them back tomorrow. I'm going to call them back tomorrow. So I did try to reach out. Tomorrow is going to be a big day in terms of, if you're interested in some of the things that would have happened, some of the experiences with the Guyana Water Inc., as well as the Guyana Power and Light, and his GT&T. Big issues that we complain about our utilities, the utility companies, and what they would have been doing. Because we have with us coming on some representatives from the Public Utilities Commission, and they are the regulators for the Guyana Water Inc., for the Guyana Power and Light, as well as the Guyana Telephone and Telegraph Company. And they're going to be telling us how you could file your complaints to them. And they kind of mediate with the companies to get the issue sorted out. So if you have an issue of high bills, or you not getting the service you applied since last year or whatever, and you haven't gotten it, there's a timeline that they have to provide those services. If you have a fault that you have reported, they haven't looked into it, or you're paying a bribe, all this that they're going to tell you how you can make it all possible by complaining to them, and they look to review and fix those problems to you, and they actually get back to you. So that's what the regulator does, and they want you. In fact, the chairperson, Ms. Dilla Britton, and I spoke this morning, and she said, Gildarie, I'm very happy to be on your program with my people, because that's something that we want to do, to liaise with the people, to bring the message to the people. So that's something that we're working on. You did ask us to wake up Guyana by having these little programs. I'm bringing back the NIS people on Wednesday, Thursday. We're gonna see what the schedule like. We did promise you. So we are doing things, and we are bringing it. So I want to say welcome to you guys right across this beautiful land of ours. Whether it's in Berbice, I know that you guys are a little stressed. West Berbice, I know that you're very stressed over there. You're looking at the situation, and you want the police to do the work. Allow the police to do the work. The Ethnic Relations Commission has issued a statement asking you to be, pay attention to what they're doing, and give some time. Be patient. So we are going to continue to come back to that. In the meantime, let's see. There's some other things. So we're going to go very quickly into the front page of Kaieteur Radio, Kaieteur News rather, and we are going to bring you what is it that the newspaper had to say today, and then we're going to hit straight into the callers. So we want to bring the callers on. We want you to send those messages so we can be able to do that. Guyana remains the last possible growth story that Exxon has to sell to investors, and this is very important. It shows you the importance of Guyana to Exxon, and therefore there is a big opportunity for us to tell them you need to get your act together and you need to come with a better deal to the people. The deal is so fundamentally unfair that it's free money for the oil company. And so this is a story, the leak story in Kaieteur News today. We're fighting for this because we've been fighting for more money to run our country, and here is more money available. But it's just that we have to push Exxon to give it to us. Exxon is in deep trouble now. The Guyana is such a gold mine, literally, well, it's a gold mine for ExxonMobil because it's such nice oil, it's sweet oil that there's not a lot of processing and the cost is very low, one of the lowest in the entire world. So when you have oil like this and everything else that they would have signed in that deal, that gives them a head start, that allows them to walk away with the most profits that they would have in an operation. And here's an opportunity for us to say, you need to give us a better deal while we have a deal with you. You have to come on and see how you can give us these couple more millions instead of us begging a couple countries here and there, or maybe the multilateral financial institution. We have the money that's right there available. So let's see, we have to ask. We have to ask our people. And so let us see, we have to bring it. So missing teenage cousins found butchered in Baghdad. Bloodstains led to rice farmers arrest as villagers erupt in protest. And so this is a very shocking case. And it is Isaiah Henry, 16, and Joel Henry. And one cousin tell the other cousin, let's go pick some coconuts. And it was the last day that they would have been alive. They left Saturday, and their bodies were found yesterday after they did not return home. They were found about a good several, I think 600 feet away from each other, away from where they were believed killed. So they were apparently taken there after being killed and dumped. And maybe they were believed that nobody would ever find them there. So they were so brutally chopped, one chopped with an axe across his head, while the other would have been almost, his entire upper body would have been almost butchered. So this is a slaughter, and this is something, two young people or Chinese people should not have been. There's no excuse whether to steal the coconut or not. If that's the case, we are going to wait the developments to see what were the motives, what would have led to this. Are we going to hear whether there's any, whether these people in custody are the ones that did this horrendous case, this shocking case that would have galvanized the entire Guyana into one. It is something that we have to pay attention to. So Papua New Guinea demands 65% from Exxon, and New Deal also calls for increased local content. This is something that is very, very, very good. Another country which is looking at Exxon is saying, hey, what you doing here is not good enough. You got to give us a better deal. You're making a lot of money, millions and millions. What about us? What are we walking away with? So that's a story that we should be paying attention to. And of course, all Guyana is riveted on this case, this shocking case last evening. The whole Guyana was probably up because nobody could really understand what would be in the minds of the killers that would have done this. So I'm going to stop right there because I want to ask Josh. We are going to open our lines. We want to open those lines, and we are going to continue to bring to our people a little later now. What is it that the president, the finale, and his vice president there, Mayor Jagdi, would be telling Guyana in terms of what they have planned for COVID-19, because that is what they are doing at the moment. They're thinking the International Convention Center, there is a press conference there, and it's a big thing because, many people would have been suffering so very deeply because of COVID-19, the loss of jobs, the loss of a job at Kaieteur, the loss of the jobs because many businesses would have been closed on order closed. They're not essential for many months, and some of these businesses went belly up. Lots of entrepreneurs would have found themselves unable to recover. Thousands, I understand, hundreds and hundreds of businesses would have been closed, and there's very little. It would have been reduced income for a lot of the drivers, whether it is it is the taxi drivers, whether it's the hire car drivers, whether it's the minibus drivers. Everybody took blows during this time here. Everybody saw reduced revenues. Even the meeting houses would have been taking a lot of blows. So it is something that we will look forward to, whatever the government would have to say to us. So we are going to go directly, and I'm going to ask Josh, please send me those messages because I want to hear from our people. And of course, our number that you would have to call us. So I want to hear your thoughts on any and everything, anything that affects you. What are your thoughts about these Barbies thing? Let's keep our conversation clean. Let us go down, not go down any racist lines. I'm not about to tolerate that. Let's hold this country very dear. Our country is hurting. Our people in tears at the moment, and we're hoping to find some answers, some closure, maybe some charges as early as possible to these killers, these wicked killers, these people who would have been heartless, taking away, snuffing the lives of our people, two persons, two teens, just like that. It could be your kids, it could be my brother, it could be my friend, it could be my relative. It's not something I'm gonna sit by, and all Guyana should not be sitting by and allow anybody to get away with this. So people are rightfully angry. What I would say to you, let us allow the police to do the work. Let us not allow the other rest of the country to do it. It's not going to help by blocking the roads, by burning anything. We understand your anger. The persons who would have done this is going to be brought to justice. The police have been the major crimes unit, I understand, is on it. So let's see what happens. So it's 226-7453. Josh, do we have a call online in the meantime? Let's put them through. We want to hear from our people. In the meantime, while we hoping to have some calls there, as yet, we are gonna go down to other messages that would have been coming in. And let me tell you what we have so far. Good afternoon. How are you? Are you okay? I've been listening to your program for a while. Your program is so good for this country. The way you try to help people. I have a heart to help the people too, but I don't have the financial resources. Do you know any organization that I can join? Thanks. In the meantime, there's another one. Good afternoon, sorry, Gildarie. What's up with the killing you're talking about? I now tuned in. I ran late today. Who killed who? So if you're not joining us, it is two persons, two teens went into the Baghdad to pick coconut on Saturday, never returned home. There was a sort party in the cotton field area, which is predominantly Indians, and these two boys were Afro-Guyanese, and so they were killed. The bodies were discovered. They were shocked the entire day. It was discovered very late last evening, just after 6 p.m. And so there was the residents of that area there would have come out and blocked the roads, calling for police actions right away for the culprits to be brought to justice as we know it. So we are going to continue to bring you those details. So in the meantime, let us try to see there's a call online. Josh, do we have any call online at the moment? I'm not sure if we have anything. So here is some other details that we have. Good afternoon, sorry, Gildarie. No, speed me up, dude. Who's Melly? Is this a radio personality? Melly is a social media commentator, has some following that would have been around for a little while. And of course, we try to bring everybody. We try to make sense of all of this. So we bring on whoever that we can bring on. So in the meantime, we are going to continue. To bring you the news as we have them. So, do we have any other callers online here, or do we have anybody there? Well, let's just read some news that we have here in the Kaieteur. Coalition lost moral authority to lecture anyone on board appointments. This is Gail Teixeira. Emergency budget on Wednesday. And this is very good news because we want this budget passed for the next 4 months, get our business on the way. There's so many things, emergency work that has to be done. Attorney General, the defense claims of convicted registrar of deeds, resumption of duty. And so, missing teenage cousin found butchered in Baghdad. We were spoken about that. President opposition leader pledged justice for murdered West Coast Barbies boy. And I'm glad to see that our opposition leaders are our leaders, opposition and the government are one on this. The president, former president David Granger would have gone to Berbice with leader of the opposition, Joseph Harmon, to comfort the relatives of the person there. Efforts on the way for the appointment of new judicial service, government to use antiviral drugs to decrease COVID-19 deaths. And this is coming from no other than Minister of Health Frank Anthony. The PNCR received wrong advice, and so regional health facilities to be retrofitted with COVID-19 ICUs, and that is coming from the Minister of Health. Two fires in Berbice there. So negligence reportedly the cause for the Lancaster fire, and so this is very sad. We got to be very careful in when we home that we keep our doors in such a way that there's an escape plan if anything happens. But in addition to that, plug out everything. We can't stop all the fires. If you need to take off your main switch, let us try to do that. Cuban Nationals forced to open Gildarie to contain Charlotte Street fire. So Guyana remains the last positive growth story. Exxon has to sell. We didn't talk about that. How good Guyana has it right now. One dead, another injured in the incident on Albion Road, Berbice. This is such a sad case. Security guard found soaked in blood told police of his attacker minutes before he died. And this is in the hinterlands. And so we have that at the moment. George, do we have any other messages or phone calls coming in? It's very strange. Where are people today? We don't have any persons coming in. The Ethnic Relations Commission, in the meantime, our Ethnic Relations Commission would have issued a statement today, and I'm going to read that to you, what they would have said with the Berbice situation. The Ethnic Relations Commission strongly condemns the senseless killings of two teens, Joel Henry and Isaiah Henry, at Coventry, West Coast, Berbice over the weekend. We call for swift action by the police to apprehend those responsible. The Commission is pleading. With Guyanese, especially those residing in the west coast of Berbice and nearby communities, to remain calm and allow the police to do their work. The AIS remains informed that first and foremost, the law must take its course. The Commission therefore appeals to Guyanese to desist from any activities which can contribute to unnecessary tension, as it's hopeful that those responsible will be brought to justice. The Commission strongly urges leaders both nationally and the community level to demonstrate responsible behavior, not use the pain of this tragedy to heighten racial tensions. Very, very important. The ERC extends condolences to the relatives and friends of the young men whose lives were cut short in a heinous manner. The ERC remains committed entirely, which is fully important to do, to take whatever course of action deems necessary to assist in the de-escalation of tensions and amending of fractured relations among citizens. The ERC reiterates the investigations by the police must first take precedence before the ERC acts to diffuse any unwanted developments resulting from the tragic occurrences a few days ago. So that is coming from the ERC, and it's good that they would have sent something, trying to push it to de-escalate. And I think several statements else are coming out. And so, in the meantime, I want to say a good day to all who would have joined us on the Wake Up Guyana show. I'm not sure why we're not getting any calls. Our phone line's down. Josh, you there? Do we have any callers on air at the moment? 226-7453, 226-7453. We want to see also those messages coming in to our people, from our people here. Of course, we would have had Minister Ben, Robertson Ben, and he is the Minister of Home Affairs, said there's no excuse for what happened to the young men. He says they are going to pay a visit to the family of the deceased. 3 persons arrested so far. Whatever may have caused the reason, whatever may have been the reason, there could be no excuse for what happened to the young men and the previous mutilation of their body, the minister said in a press conference. He expressed sympathy and said he would be visiting the families. We want to reassure all Guyanese that no efforts will be spared to bring the perpetrators to justice. And the Commissioner of Police, Nigel Hoppy, said that the police has been working around the clock to bring the matter to finality. He disclosed that the information so far has led to the arrest of 3 persons who were assisting with the investigation. So this is very good, and because if you're saying based on information, that means that the police are making headway. Let the police make the headway. Let's clear the roads. Let's continue our business. Let's open back this country. And so that's what we have at the moment. Let us see if there's some other news right now that you should be knowing about. In the meantime, there's no callers online at the moment. So if you would have been joining us, Two Teams Murdering Barbies, there's a protest going on in that region, 5 area in number 5 village, where roads are being blocked, tires being burnt. As I speak right now, the weather's turned drastically. Um, lots of rain and thunder going on right now, and we could talk back about what this would have mean growing up for people. I'm really sorry that we don't have any calls coming in yet. I think everybody's tuned in to what President their friend Ali is. They are addressing the nation as we speak right now, and we are on the radio. So do we have a caller coming in there right now? Caller, good day, you're there.
Good day, Mr. Gildarie. How are you?
Pretty good, sir. Go right ahead. You are here.
I'm calling from Essequibo Coast, and there's an issue that I would like to raise with you, sir. And before I raise the issue, I would like to say congratulations for all the hard work that you have been doing, and may God Almighty bless you and continue doing the good work. And,
yes, my brother, I do appreciate that very much. Thank you very much.
I would like to say to Dr. Yog Mahadev also for his good work that he has done in room 592. My problem is that...
Yes, and you know, Friday was the last day that we would have had with that, huh?
Yes, I was on the air. I was listening to you, sir.
Yes. It's a very sad time. But go ahead.
I want to tell you that I think it was during the week last week, someone called in and say about the exploitation of the taxi drivers here on the Essequibo Coast, where the fare are very much high in a hike. And you know this pandemic that we're having going on, and they only think about their family having a meal on their table, and they don't think about the ordinary passenger who has to travel. And they're fetching three passengers in the vehicle, and they want the double fare, which the police is telling you that do not pay more than what is supposed to be paid, right? And I want to say this, that I think some authority, the police should look into this, because it's very, very, very annoying to me, right? And I know that and they exploit the Amerindian brothers and sisters when they come out from the Morocco or rung in the interior. They want $2,000 a passenger to go from Charity to Supanam. And when you come off a Supanam boat and they see that you are a person that is not familiar with the coast, or they don't know you, they take you and they carry you and they charge you a set of money, and they're exploiting people. And Essequibo is a beautiful, beautiful region. You know that. Region 2, Supanam, Pamplona is a very, very beautiful region in Guyana. And we have to see that this is being done. I want you to see that we look into this matter, and this matter is being done. Just the taxi drivers I having problem with, where the fare structure...
Is it the taxis or the hire car? The hire car drivers?
The hire car driver, yes. The hire car driver, they are very, very much... And they're abusing you, and they're abusing, telling you, go buy your own vehicle and see if you will know where is the income of the vehicle, right? So I need something done to this and look into this. The police has to be more upgrade to this, you know. We have to get cooperation. If we don't have cooperation, then we cannot build. You understand? So this is what I
agree with you there. Yeah. It's putting a lot of pressure on people who are dependent on
those I listen to people talking about this hamper and this grant and so forth, what the president has said. But as Guyanese,
yes,
we are lack of knowledge and wisdom, so to speak, because the president did not send a criteria on how he's going about to give the $25,000 grant as yet. But yet, people are saying, people are coming with exercise book and this thing and that thing, and the president going into to Apnu area, in coming to the Indian area. These are the same old criteria people are going on with. They have to sit and wait and look on and get.
Yes, I hear you what you're saying. So I'm going to continue to look at that, sir. Thank you very much. So all the way from Mexico Coast, I want to say hello to all the drivers there. Whether you're a taxi driver, minibus driver, the people complaining that the hire car drivers are charging double fare. It's very unfair. We put in something. We understand that it's very hard because you have the COVID social distancing guidelines, and there's only so much passengers. But you have to see halfway. You cannot be double fare that you're charging the people. It's definitely you put in pressure on them already. They would have had a small salary, and they're being forced to travel with you, and you are doing that. So we have to see halfway through, or we got to see, we got to be thinking about these people as well. So thank you very much, there, sir, and do happen to have a very pleasant rest of the day to the beautiful people down in Essequibo there, whether you're from the Queenstown area, whether you're from Anna Regina, Supernam, how you guys doing there? All the speedboat operators. Want to say good day to you, and of course all the way to Charity. A good day there to you too. And so in the meantime, we go right ahead to the other callers. I think there's no if there's no other caller in the meantime. George, do we have another caller there?
Good afternoon, guys. Good afternoon, Leonard.
Hi, good afternoon. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing fine. I hope you're doing fine. So I have
Yes, sir.
some few points I want to make. So concerning the Morning Borbies, well, Guyana is sad. I want to make this clear. Guyana is sad. I am sure the persons or the person or person do that, they regret it now. And to have people that want to label this thing as a political or as like a race thing is very bad. Very, very bad. So I want guys like Duncan, Sherlock Duncan, if that's his correct name, and the lawyer. They need to stop this thing. I noticed them since the night when the police went at Christopher Jones' house. A lot of racial remarks. So I'm calling on the ERC. They have money now. Please, ERC, look into this. A man don't have to tell you straight up you're a coolie or you're a black to make it sound like it's racial. There are comments that they're making, and that is racial comments. So they need to stop that. I'm calling on the ERC to look into this because these things are not going to make anything good for our country. Okay? So
Well, it's a good thing
that's
because the ERC issued a statement not too long ago, and it says that
mhm,
they're empowered by law, and they are
correct.
gonna. I think that they have been very vocal in recent time, which is something that I
Yes.
like to see. And I'm probably gonna bring the ERC on sometime to talk to us. I'm gonna bring them on because they need to talk to us and
Yes,
some
you need.
some of the
You
things that
need.
we should do and we should not do. It's an interesting conversation to have.
Yes, they need, yeah, that's good. Give everybody a warning. Let everybody realize, hey, this is it. And you need to stick to it or else there are consequences for your action. Okay? That's one. Two, I saw Cathy Hughes was saying that Mr. Schumann didn't deserve a seat, deserved to be the deputy speaker because he didn't get 2,000 votes. But can she say what vote have the AFC got in the election? Let's see if her case is right. I don't think they had 1,000 votes. AFC I'm speaking about, and they have
Right.
about 4 seats. So they need to you can jump on national television and see as you like, and then they have no consequence. You must apologize, or there must be consequences for your action. Okay, that's my
I
point,
appreciate
sir.
it. Thank
All
you
right,
very much, there. And
all
I
right,
think you're
thanks.
so much on point there. So have a pleasant rest of the day, dear caller. And I want to say a good day to the folks down in Region 5, in Region 4. How we doing? Timiri, the Madawini area, the Yarakabe area there. We had many callers calling from especially Suzik Linden area there. People would have been complaining. I did see some ministers would have gone there and touching base with them, talking about water, electricity, and even roads and schooling and so on. And so they would have been talking to them, and that's a very good thing because people would have been complaining about health for that area there. And I think I did even talk to a minister recently, He said it's saying that when they went to the Suicide area, several communities, it is terrible to see some of the conditions that people there would have been living, and it's so. I told him that it is not only there. You go right across this country, you see so many suffering, so many sad stories being told. People losing their job, people don't have enough to eat. People not sure where the next dollar is going to come from, the next salary, where the next meal is going to come from. So it is something that we have to continuously pay attention to. You don't want a country that is going to have, hunger, starvation, and things like that. I don't think we could starve here. So many food that we have in this country, but the fact is, not everybody might have access to those food. So we have to make it available. We have to continuously reach out to those persons. So good day to you, wherever you join us from today. It's a Wake Up Guyana show. Wake up and let's smell the issues, because the issues are what is going to put us in tune with everything else to ensure that we increase or improve our lives, the quality of life that we have in this country of ours, whether it is through gathering more resources from our revenues that is going to come from our natural resources, or from whatever. We have to get a better life, and the money is there. Just we have to collect it. We have to be very strong. We have to tell our foreign investors, whoever they are, whether it's you are in gold mining, whether you're in bauxite, whether whatever it is that you're doing here, whether you're in manganese, that what you're doing here, we have to ensure as a company it's not just about the providing jobs. There's revenues that you're bringing in that you have to give to us. Part of it is our take on it. You cannot take it and not give back to us. And we want to help our people. And so we have to be very, very strong about that. So I want to say thank you very much for joining us. We have like about 40 minutes thereabouts or so. Let's go right back to the callers. Josh, do we have another caller online there? Yes. Good afternoon, caller. You're there? Yes. Good afternoon, caller. You're there? You'd have to you'd have to lower the volume on your radio, sir, or
Hello,
ma'am.
yes. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. Go right ahead.
Sorry?
Yes, it is. Good. You're on the air. Go right ahead, ma'am.
Yeah. I'm calling to come concerning the public assistance. Because I'm a single parent and I live in by myself. And I just have to say, public assistance.
Well, I think the president and the vice president, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's what they're talking about right now. There's a press conference, I think, is ongoing, and I think they're making some announcements on
the
it.
money is
But
just
you would be eligible for something like that.
Okay, I get in it, but the money just 9,000, and I can't really out for the whole month.
No. There's a $25,000 that the government has announced for all families in Guyana. Every family in Guyana is going to get it.
Okay, thank you.
So it doesn't matter whether you're rich or poor, they've announced it for everybody.
Yeah, I live in Region 6.
Region 6. Thank you very much. What part of Region 6 there are you calling from, ma'am?
Limlair.
Limlair. And what's the situation like in Limlair there?
Yeah, Leonard is after the adventure when you go into Blackbush.
Yes. What's the situation there? Is it very tough for the people up there right now?
I hear that like Hamper used to come at the NDC, but
I'm not sure about that. They don't tell us when these things happen, so we're not sure who it's coming from and so.
But we never get nothing. We never get no help here.
All right. And nobody ever come around to your house or anything?
No. And it's me alone living, and then I'm a diabetic and all my toes cut off and my one foot. So
oh my God! You have the NDC in the area there. You know which NDC that you're in charge of? That's in charge of your area there.
Gildarie.
You should get on to them and make sure that your name is on board with that, and make sure that that you are on a list to receive any kind of help that they may give from time to time. I think that that's one of the functions of the NDC, that they can find some way. But make sure that you're on the list, because I think the president has said for all Guyana.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, dear ma'am, for
Thank
coming through,
yeah,
and
thank you.
have a pleasant rest of the day.
Yes, you too.
God bless. God. So, we have so many women, so many single mothers, so many pensioners, and everybody who's calling through to this program here, who would have been sending messages. In fact, this morning I would have had a message called being sent from a entrepreneur, and he says, I'm basically struggling to make a dollar thing, and then GPL sent me a bill that they made me go pay more than what I'm supposed to be paying, and it's far, far above it, like what 3, 4 times the amount. And he said if I don't pay it, they're gonna cut me off. But here the problem is, he says even if it was estimated, when he checked his meter, and he compared it to the meter reading that they have on the bill that it was sent, the meter reading he did not even reach that figure yet. So if he burned 65 watts, or he's at 65,000 watts as burning so far, when he checked the meter, he's at 68,000. So that means he's not even there yet, and they sent him a bill for that. So it is a very, very clear case that something is wrong with GPL, and I have sent that complaint to the Public Utilities Commission, in which three persons, three executive or three senior officials, they are going to be with us tomorrow. I want to say good day to Chairperson Ms. Dila Britton, and she would have had a conversation with me and indicated that she is very happy to be on the program tomorrow, and so or sending our people tomorrow to be there. So I'm going to look forward for them to be here to answer some of the questions that we may have, and for them to be able to tell us very quickly in very short space of time. And we're probably going to bring them on a little more to have these lines open so you could raise your complaints. And if you can't raise it, we're going to find some way of you being able to text them some of the issues that you have so they can be able to deal with you. That's what the regulators are there for. And so we are going to continue bringing these issues. And it seems as if the biggest ones are not only the pensions and NIS, but also the utility companies as well, and the services that we're getting from there. And there's nothing wrong with you complaining, because they have to issue a good service to you. And I'm going to ask my boy down in the studio there, Josh, make sure that you send me those messages as well so we can be able to read it on both sides. Do we have another call online there? Good afternoon, caller, if you're there. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon, caller. You there?
Yeah, pleasant good afternoon to you.
Yes, good afternoon,
Long
ma'am.
try to call you and I get you.
All right, all
So
right. What's
thank
bothering you
to
today?
get
Where you calling
with
from?
you. Me want to thank you so much. For 5 or 6 months I keep up with you, Guyana. And it very hurt me and my family that I come out from room 592 every night and day I hear a program. And
Yes,
the
yes.
program is so
Well,
good. Well,
Yog was doing it. Myself and
yeah.
him, we became and we took it on. And Yog, he's not full-time staff for the radio, so he came on and gave us time. And I must say thank you very much and a good day to Dr. Yog Mahadev. We miss it too, but there's a time and an end for everything. But we're working very quickly to bring another program similar to that, but it has to be able to measure up to that, or at least try to measure up to that.
Friday last, when Yogi Mahadev cried, and me and my husband
Yeah,
cried
he
too.
did.
Because I'm a hustler
Yeah,
and
he did.
cook afternoon
Yes.
and hustle for here I program night time. And we are so blessed, blessed, blessed. Through this voting for this 5 to 6 months, how much me just stressed out. And I program and make it come to life. I saw my husband gonna laugh hard in room 590 when the people question and I question the people there. Oh God, I
Yeah,
will
yeah, yeah,
really
yeah. It,
thank you.
it, it was it was a very good program in terms that it took the conversation to another level on very, very serious issues that were affecting our people. And of course, the political situation was something that dominated the entire conversation. But it was a very serious program, and and we had some very good guests, some really big names, and so. people who could really educate us, and which is a good thing. I learned a lot.
You know, Wednesday night, who been attacked?
On Wednesday evening,
From
who did we
Bajan.
have? I can't remember who we had Wednesday. Um, I can't remember who did we had on Wednesday.
Me forget the
I
name,
can't
man, from
remember that.
Harbajan or something.
Yeah, I think we had Harbhajan then.
He from
I'm
where?
gonna try to find out back. I think it was. Yeah, I think it was Harbhajan. Yes, it
Yeah,
was
he from
Govind
where?
Harbhajan and O.C. Rogers. I think it was. And then we would have had, I think, before that, no other than our one of our top doctors, a neurosurgeon by the name of Amanat Duki,
Yeah.
Dr. Amanat Duki. He would have been there.
Yes, we really enjoyed the program tonight.
So,
And Harbajan from where? We said
all right. Well, thank you. Huh?
We said
He's from
Harbajan.
Berbice. He was the PM's, the Prime Minister representative in Berbice, in East Berbice area there. That's the current team.
Me from quarantine, you know. Me from Region 6.
Okay.
I attack
Yeah, he's somewhere there around 58, somewhere one in the 50 something village there.
57. 57 village.
Yes.
Oh,
Somewhere there,
that's
yes.
so nice. They're really nice people.
All right.
They live in 58 and they live 57.
Yes, so thank you very much there, ma'am, and tell your husband I say hello, and thank you for coming through to the Wake Up Guyana show. We appreciate
And
that,
from
and
1
have
o'clock,
a
we
pleasant
wait
rest
till
of the
3
day.
o'clock. Night time, every day on the program. And God bless I so much richly. May God bless I and keep I for his honor and glory. And guide a good health and strength and wealth and prosperity in every way, thy family, every way. God going to help I to be a successful people. How is your arm, COVID?
All right.
Okay.
Well, yeah. I'm getting a little better. I'm a little dry. It makes you very, very dry. But thank you very much, ma'am. Have a pleasant rest of the day until, and please continue to listen and watch.
All right. Have a blessed.
Yes. Thank you very much, dear ma'am. So some very warm words there from our people down in Berbice here. So many of them that's been tuned in with us here in Wake Up Guyana show. And so we are going to continue to bring you the news as it comes. And if you've now joined us on this Wake Up Guyana show, you could get us on 99.1, 99.5 on and also on Facebook, Kaieteur Radio on Facebook, or Kaieteur Radio live stream on YouTube. And we coming to you on 99.1 in Demerara and Esquivel and 99.5 in Berbice. And so if you have joined us, this is some of the news that you need to know. There's 2 teens murdered, they were slaughtered according to some, and the police have pulled out all stuff. They were arrested 3 persons, including a coconut farm owner, as well as the son and a handyman, and they've been questioned into the killing of these 2 boys. And the entire Berbice, the entire country is extremely angry and upset and in mourning over this. The government has come out and issued condemnation. The opposition also, and the ERC, Ethnic Relations Commission, was called for level heads, allow the police to do the work, and they call do not fan the flames of any race issues here. Do not bring that. Do not introduce this here. The truck people, heavy truck people who have been affected by the closure of the Demerara Harbour Bridge to heavy vehicles, they have met with the Minister of Public Works, Juan Edgel, and they are trying to come to some solutions to this ongoing bridge issue here. There's emergency repairs being done, so they only allow the light vehicle to cross the bridge. The river traffic has been halted because there's not going to be any retraction at this moment. And so as we speak also, there is a press conference by President Finale. They're not sure that it's over yet, but Vice President Barjagdi is there with him. And we would have had the Minister of Human Services on Friday evening talking about the help that they have planned. There is possibly, we're looking at the budget very carefully, and one of the big things that we'll be looking at is an increase in the pension for the old age pension for the people of Guyana. And so I think about over 5,000 of those pensioners would be receiving some kind of, more than likely receive. There's been an application and they would more than likely receive those increases to what they presently receiving, and they're looking at some other ways how they could get those money fast to the people, even delivered to the homes. The people who can make it to go to the police to the post office to have it delivered to the home. So, Josh, do we have any other callers online there? Let us get more people online. Let us see those messages, and also, of course, let's get them online there. Do we have any callers on the air here?
Hello.
So it looks not. Yes. Good afternoon, caller. You're here.
Good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie. I heard
Good
in your
afternoon, sir.
program. I heard in your program earlier you were saying two housing bobbies burned down again. You know,
Yes.
it is sad. It is sad to see people property is going down in flame, and I can't understand why these people are not seeing that this is so simple. All you got to do, you keep going to fire. Every time they got a fire, the fire service, the people at the fire station drive up without no water. The government can see up to it to provide these people with some tankers, even locally. You buy 2, 3 trucks, you build some local tanks, you put them on, you make sure that the fire station get water ready. So if you get 3 trucks, from the time you reach the scene, why is they using, and the first one empty, you could go somewhere and they refill, why is they using the other 2 so that they could be able to save people property. I can't see how they can't see this as so simple, you know.
It is. It is. And so I hate it because every time people work hard for years before they can build a house, and when they're doing that, and to see it all go up and you stand helplessly there, it's not an easy feeling, and it's as if your life is being burned away before you. It's how tough that is.
Yeah, and then what make it more tough is to see when the fire service come, they can't do nothing. They just stand up and they're watching. They like always like spectator watching the property going down in flame, and we be doing nothing. They're running around with the hose this side. You keep coming with the hose all the time. You're driving up with the fire truck with the hose and the firemen, and they ain't coming with no water. And I don't understand why the government is not looking into see. Another thing I want to raise is that quickly is that I am not seeing any social distancing. I see the government talking about giving the people 25,000 and the sharing hamper, but me and see no lockdown. I see everything running as per normal. People going out normally. They're buying what they want. All the stores open, everywhere open, every government business places open. Everybody going normally as regular. Before the COVID-19 things are happening the same way. So I don't know why they're giving these things, and they should, if they know that they're trying to help the people, they should lock down the country at least for a week or 2 and see if they could control the virus, or at least for a month, so that you know that you assist the people with some certain things to carry on with their livelihood, that they're not starving. Then you can see what you do, how you're moving from there. But everybody moving is phenomenal. People walking, people going about their business, everybody open up, everybody. And you still helping the people as though like you lock down the country. I don't understand how this is possible.
Yeah. And it is indeed true. And when you talk back about those fire trucks, I don't want to believe that fire trucks would go empty to that thing. I think one of the standard operating procedures is that they would have water, but what they have, those waters go very, very quickly. It finishes very, very quickly because a lot of being pumped out. Within minutes, it's finished. What we need is to start, and this way it comes back to we have so much resources out there. We shouldn't be quarreling about one fire truck to a particular fire station. It should be 3 and 4 and 5 because
Exactly.
that's what our country could afford it. And so all these things come back. This government has got to be very, very strong. They're there a couple of weeks, but it's good to talk about it, let them understand very, very clearly that they have an uphill task that is ahead of them, and that we need to fix these things, that these are the issues that need to be fixed. We need to raise our pensions money. We need to provide proper security for our people. They should walk the road and not have to limit the amount of money that they have in the bag because somebody's going to snatch it, or somebody's going to do something or try to rob you or something. These are things that we could do without.
My heart goes out to the guys with the Cinco to see that building went up and all the business and hundreds of millions, and these firemen was just running around the place and couldn't even, you could have just run across the Crown Mining and buy 2 roll of hose or borrow 2 roll of hose and run it from the Lama Canal to the place and get it, and they would have saved at least something. It was so sad. It was so sad to watch that, and you stand up there and you got a minister of security went at the scene, and you didn't come up a week after and say, look, we're going to put in 5 more fire trucks in each station so that there will be adequate water. So from the time the firemen come to this thing, they don't have no excuse to make to see people property go up and go down in flame just like that.
Yeah, it is, and I hear it, and these are things that really really anger people when you see it and you wonder when you see how money is. If I tell you some stories that will blow your mind away, if I tell you guys people some stories that we know as reporters that you can't report on because you would very well get sued because there's no how you say evidences yet. But there are some things that the way that our monies are being wasted in giving out contracts and things like that. When a contract is worth 50 million and you give it out and it's 150 million, when a school is worth 300 million and it's really worth 75 million. Those are the kind of things that you would hear. And it is, I heard a story that somebody told me that they went in the hinterlands and they were staying at a school or at a place that is on the highest part of Guyana. It's so cold that you have to wear several layers of clothing. And he says they stayed in this particular property and it was worth so much money, they were told that it was built. And then he realized, yes, because you got to truck all the materials up there. But then guess what? The region people, in order to help the contract, and everybody is in on it, they use the region's vehicles and equipment to help the man, the contractor, to get the building materials in that area. And guess what? The building material, the contractor would have charged the government for that. So these are some of the ways that we've been shafted. And when we're talking about 5 ambulance or 5 engines, money could be spent on that. But guess what? We prefer to lose a day because somebody getting kicked back. That's how it is.
you know, sometimes I just wanted to say that they basically do this to keep these people in this way to make it look like, we're helping you when they do this thing. They could create better lives for the people from all the money that they're thieving through contracts and contractors to create a better livelihood for people. But I get a feeling that they're doing it this way. So when they come around with a little hamper and they come around with a little 25,000, it makes them look good. And it is the money, it's people money they basically giving back to the people. It's taxpayers' money they giving back to the people. But that's what helping them to look good, to make the, hey, I see it as a campaign strategy already for the next election that, when you give these people this thing, they can start, well, this government is a good government. They give you this thing and they give you. I think that people should work for what they want. You should create an environment for people to work and stop giving people things. People must get jobs and work and able to take care. I personally want to work for what I want to take care of my family. I don't want nothing from nobody. I want to work for what I want. I don't want to hear, but government want to give me this or government is giving me this. That's make the government look good. That's to make them look good. So when they thief from the people must look at, hey, we the thieving, yes, but remember we gave you something, we gave you 25,000, we gave you a hamper, and we gave these things.
Yes, and I agree with you there, my brother. So let's see how that goes. But thank you very much for calling in. I think you've raised some very pertinent points here.
Thank you so much, Ms. Gildarie.
Thank you very much, sir. So in the meantime, let us see. We have some comments coming in. Hi, Gildarie. Let me see. Hi, Gildarie. Congratulations. You're looking good. You're well. I just want you to know that I really enjoy the program. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm watching in Canada. Please use the program to have these. This is somebody else now. Leonard, I wish you could use the program to have these railway bridges painted and preserved for our history. The railway bridges. Is that the one by Mahika? I'm not sure. Or is it up the East Coast here? Good afternoon. I'm from Berbice and I can't go home. What is going on with the government? Is there a law for this madness? And I think a lot of people there, the people are saying very clearly that that a lot of people have been left affected by the blocking of the road again. And it is so very, very dangerous. And if an ambulance comes from Berbice with somebody who's badly in need of help, medical help, emergency help, it's going to be stuck. It's going to be stuck there at that blockage of the road. It is not something that's acceptable. So we got to be thinking very clearly. You cannot be selfish and be very angry and we do things that is going to hold this country at ransom. The police are doing something. 3 persons arrested. Let's see where this goes. And so, in the meantime, it is coming on. We have like about 20 minutes thereabout. We are on the Wake Up Guyana show. You're getting us here on Kaieteur Radio on YouTube. You're getting us on 99.1, 99.5 FM. And you could also get us on YouTube, Kaieteur News live stream, Kaieteur Radio live stream, sorry. So we are going to go ahead back to the lines and see whether Josh has somebody else for us there. Josh, do we have another caller in the air there? Could we get through to those questions?
Not right now.
Yes, caller, good afternoon. So in the meantime, I don't think we have another caller yet. Josh, when we have those calls, please put them through. In the meantime, we are gonna continue to bring you some other. Let me see what is happening here.
Good afternoon.
Yes, good
Hello.
afternoon, sir. How are you doing?
Good, trying. I don't like the
Tell me.
car. What car just now, right? I say with the hamper. The cherry don't have no money, but you know that, Mr. Gildarie. You then since AFC and up to take over his country, they did pull the packet in, which everybody knows about it, right? Why he get to say that campaigning? No matter that campaigning, people don't campaign for that. Because of this COVID-19 thing, people don't take it as a serious thing. They go and do his normal duty. But the people want to give the people who need it. That's what I'm saying. And everybody knows. Not me. This I say, coolie black man or Chinese man, a Portuguese girl who will get it. Everybody is going to have to get it. You understand what I say? Well, what you may tell me, right, the carbon bodies. All you may tell
Yes,
me.
sir.
The thing is that these people want, I don't know, big elder people to talking things like that. That's really wrong talk. Right? I don't like it. You understand? But with them buys of water, I disagree with it. Right? But we get another water at Borvis too. So because I get to understand the contest with the motoring and they are.
Or the confess?
Yeah, they confess anything here. And they put me on Facebook. And it's in a confess of it. So, but then I almost say, a young man is not something I want to walk to, man. And I want to see walk. I think capital work, man, pay good money, so pay reported that they $3,000, $2,000 a day. And we can work for something, and capital work and get money. But some of them want to work. They want to do that. I mean, when we were a young man, I just say that when you pick blue coconut and a Sunday we just pick blue coconut back then and drink. That's how we some, right? And I pick cane or something. When we were cane, they was pick cane and bring out and eat, right? This now is not that time, right? You can't watch us thing. But within the one car, I don't like it. They say campaigning.
I hear you.
The people who need people maybe assist the government. You understand me? People assist the government to give people donation to help themselves. Right? I don't like it right. But I miss your program, man. I started my friend Dr. Mahadio. I don't hear his voice again.
Yeah, well, I thank you for that. I miss him dearly, but I know that he's busy doing the stuff. You know, you got a family to mind. You got to make sure that you do it. So let us see how that goes there. I want to say thank you very much for coming through, man, all the way from Berbice here.
All right, that's try next strong, man. Try next strong.
Yes,
right.
Thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much, my brother. I appreciate it.
Yes.
So all the way from Berbice, I want to say a good day to all our people over there. I know that you guys are working hard. A lot of farmers there, and they're pushing it week in, week out, year in, year out, and they're dealing with if it's not too much sun, it's too much rain, and so they always have a problem. In addition to that, market is an issue for produce. We have to find some other mechanism to deal with the produce of our farmers. They've been struggling over the years. Maybe it's if it's a co-op society or something. But we have to do much, much better for our farmers. They've struggled over the years. We have to find more processing facilities, agro processing facilities. We have to find experts who could market those things. We should be able to take our squash or pumpkin. We have some very, very good thing. We go into something, the callaloo and everything is so fresh, so nice, thyme leaf and everything. We are blessed people as a country that everything that we have here, it's so good. We are self-sufficient in that sense. We could stay right here and we have all our food here. We have our meat. We have our every single thing that we have right now could be able to push us for us to be able to produce it here and that we don't have to import not a thing. I saw somebody was even this dragon fruit, which is something that's an exotic fruit that I ate. I think I went up to New York and ate it for the first time. Don't so like it. Well, we actually growing it here, somebody told me. We growing carrots here, we growing cauliflower, broccoli and all those kind of things. And I don't so fancy those things. I like our bora and our I grew up eating. If my mother cooked Karela, I used to run the outside of the house. If she cooked okra, I run there. As I grew older, and these are things that I grew to love. I like garden rice, and I like my okra. I like my Karela, Nepali. When last time you had that, those are things that are from right here. We have very, very good stuff right here. And we should be very thankful that there's many other countries. You look at Venezuela, what is happening there? Many people starving, many people going through garbage bin, hospitals don't have. So we are lucky in that when you look at what's happening in the United States, a couple of other places, we are still far ahead of the curve or far ahead of the crowd. But we can do so much better if we start collecting what is rightfully ours in the oil industry, in the gold industry, in the bauxite industry, in the manganese, and so many other areas. What about the sand pits? Are we getting our right money there? And so our taxes that which is being evaded. I spoke to NDC chairman today, and she says this year alone, we can understand this year because pandemic year. It's only the business people who've been paying. But guess what? People are opening their mouth and complaining about services. And when you check the records, they're not even paying. They haven't been paying the rates and taxes. So they have some major issues in this country when it comes to what we collecting and what the kind of service that we giving out, and our attitude generally towards collection. It's as if our revenues is not very important. The revenues that run this country. That's the last thing that we think about. Or maybe somebody's taking some bribe somewhere and whatever Guyana collects, it collects. If you see what's happening on the wires here, how some customs officer, with all due respect to a lot of the GRA people here, you hear some of the stories that's happening there, and it's not very good. Because when you collect less, it should be a crime. Every time that you take money out of the people's pocket from the taxpayers' dollars, it has to be treated very seriously. I saw a movie years ago, The Untouchables. It has to do with Al Capone. Al Capone was a gangster in Chicago in the United States in the 1930s. They couldn't catch him on anything. He did from rum smuggling to everything else, to bootlegging, to every crime that you think about. And they wanted to nail him so bad. They put together a special team. You know how to nail him? He had 5 cars, 5 houses, and whatever. It's like, could you tell us how we got that? He couldn't explain, and he served the time he died in prison, I think. They gave him 11 years. He died in prison. Al Capone. The story is very real. It's very much out there. Treat our taxes, our revenues of this country as very, very sacred. Is it something that when you're looking after the people, you have to collect those monies? GRA has to take it very serious. Our customs office has to take it very serious. All the revenue collection agency from the Gold Board, for the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission. So we are going to have a petroleum commission in a very short while. We have the Guyana Forestry Commission. We have the Guyana Lands and Survey, and all these state agencies, the Guyana Energy Agency, the Guyana Water Inc. All these are collection agency, and they remit part of the proceeds to the government. The Guyana Power and Light, all those belongs to us too. And so when they don't do their jobs or they lapse in the collection, it means that something is wrong. Somebody's collecting somewhere or they're not doing a good job. Let's pay attention to these things. These are important things. Joshua, do we have another caller online here on here? Hello. Yes, I don't think we happen to have another one there. Um, yes, good afternoon, caller. You're there. Okay, we don't have them. Mahike and Maikoni bridges, those bridges have a great part in our history. I think this person is also saying there will be the young generation to remember the mistakes we made to close the railway embankment line. Um, uh, uh, so this is a very good idea for us to maybe put some paint onto these things here, maybe have it in such a way that people pass and they pay attention to it. Good afternoon, calling in here.
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon. Go right ahead.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
I want
ma'am.
to congratulate Irfan Ali for the good work that he are doing. You know, for his 1 month and couple days. I want to congratulate him, right? And I heard the man say about the fire breathing, about the water. That is true. When a house burn, then I get no water in the tank. Then they're idling all about and are using the government money, and you have to pay them salary, and that is not good. You're paying for doing your job, and you have to do it correctly.
Of course.
And then
of
again,
course.
you see, I may hear people complain about, about the Stephen and kill a farmer. Man is supposed to kill them. He's supposed to catch them and carry them to station.
I agree with you. I fully agree with you.
Yeah. People are thieves. You can't stop that. People bullying bad. They will come in your farm and thief and you can't do them nothing. Me husband a plant farm. They must say that. They must tell me husband. So when you see you go in a house, have a waxman, you never go in your farm. Is that advantage? But this man.
And where you calling from? Where you calling from?
This is the lady I called you just now.
Oh, you call back. Okay, yeah. But you see, one of the things, it's a different thing if somebody coming in your yard and your family is on the threat and things like that, then you take whatever necessary actions to protect your family. If you're on the road and somebody rob you and you have a weapon or so, you do whatever it is to protect yourself. It's a different thing when somebody goes into a farm and let's say even saying that they were taking the coconuts or so. That's brutality. You could capture them, maybe you could tie them up and embarrass them, throw the pictures on social media or so. But to kill them and then such brutality, like I said before, I said in the beginning of this program, it takes a different kind of individuals, a different breed of people to do these kind of acts. So you don't have any kind of feeling. You don't have any rights to walk among our Guyanese people. It is not something we should tolerate. Because these are teens, these are little boys. I mean, back in our days, we did so many wrong things, growing up, and we were wicked little boys and girls. We used to get away, run by the seawall, by the riverside and bathe. We used to get away, go to the little Archidok and Diamond Grove area. Those who live in the area knows. We used to get away and thief our neighbor fowl. And you know about it. These are things that we grew up doing. Should we be killed for those things? Should we be butchered? Should we be slaughtered? No, you can't. That's not what we're all about.
Are you see the man involved now?
Yeah. But I really like you though. I thank you very much for calling, man.
Sorry what you done and involved. And believe me, people are saying them a punish and this, that, and that. Whatever you get, man, I beg your God, right? You pray when you wake up and say, God, I come this day into your capable hand. And you bless this day, you provide for us. And God is able to provide for you.
Yes, and I thank you for that. It's good.
It's good that see his children go and beg bread, but he will always provide your needs.
It's good to hear those kind of conversations coming from our people or people who would have been experienced, and it's good to have it coming from you too. We should love our people, our senior citizens, and people like yourself who try to talk the right language. And I like the language that you're talking. So I want to say very much. I want to say to you that we love you very much, and we love the fact that you're coming through to us, that you're listening. So have
And
a
then,
pleasant rest of the day, okay?
yeah, and then when you go dry your month salary, you eat out
Yeah.
all one day and 2 day. You know,
No,
after
you
when you
can't. You
relaxing,
can't.
and you got
I,
this
I
little money,
I
you
used to go
take
to
a
work. I
credit
used to
card.
tell people I used to go to work, some of my people, and they never believed that Gildarie used to sleep on the ground for what, a year. I slept on the floor for a year while I was building my property and so. And I went and I smiled like everybody else. When everybody party and I couldn't buy clothes. And I'm not ashamed to say these things. When everybody, couldn't buy clothes, I was waiting on my family to send something or somebody, to send some gift or something. We could be really struggled. Some months I had to go to the bank when I had a mortgage and I used to call the bank and said, could I defer my payment for this month? I had to call some of the people in there. And this is a big reporter and an editor working at a newspaper there that couldn't make it from month to month. So what do? We have to make our sacrifices. We have to live within our means.
Yes,
I saw somebody from the U.S., Gina Singh, talking about over there. Even though you live in there and things are so good, you still plant your little garden. And when you
yes,
come on to winter time, you freeze some of those pepper and whatever it is that you planted because you cut it up and you understand what is it to have fresh produce because
yes.
those people would have winter and everything. We understand it and we appreciate what we have. Maybe it's a whole
Yes.
attitude thing that our people got to understand.
You can't buy one dress every day and wear
Right. You're talking the right thing there, Auntie. And let me tell you this. Thank you very much.
and
Right. As
done
we
your
come down to
money.
program
And then you
time,
say, my
I'm glad that
colleague,
you
my
come. So it's good
staff.
to hear from people like you.
You understand?
Yeah, yeah, my thing. And tell the old boy I say hello, okay?
Yeah, babe, take care. We love you, right? And every
Thank you
one
very
of
much. I
you
appreciate it.
at the station there.
Yes, yes. God bless you, Mama. Bye bye.
Yeah, babe, bye.
Bye. And so all the way there from Canada, Gina Singh, and she's saying that she's a single mom and I plant my own garden and make much with it. It saves on my finances and minimize my trip to the grocery. And I'm protecting myself from COVID. And these are some of the things too. You have a yard, figure out. I mean, I got a little yard and I got those aloes and things like that. I got a little banana would come from time to time. It's not a big place, but you make use of it. And I think I gotta blame my little dogs. My puppies would get in there and they eat out everything. What they don't eat out, they dig up and so on. They're so bad. We trying to figure out how the heck they get into the garden. But these are things we have to start somewhere or the other. Plant our little garden, cut our costs. This is a very hard time. This is not normal time. There's no partying. The lady said the right thing. We don't have to buy a dress every single day. We can be able to live within our means. Let us keep our finances for hard for a rainy day. We don't have to go to a restaurant or eat food. Some days I see my colleagues and I gotta take a rap on them sometimes. I see them bringing food, buying food every day. I said, well, why don't you get up in the morning and cook something? Even if it's fried egg and rice, some days I take fried egg and rice to work too. I like it. It isn't that that's what I have, but I just like it. I like simple things. I see my boss would tell me that, Glenn, he says he grew up so hard in a place called Wakenham. And he says some days that they had to make do with what they had. And he remember eating salt and oil and rice with some salt and pepper and things like that, and some shallot and whatever it is. And coming forward years later, he says some days I still do that. Although I'm in a better position because I never ever forget, the simple things in life. One day he told me he was going to work, and he remember he left the light on home. This is a guy that has money, my publisher Leonard, and he says I turned all the way back to go back and take off the lights. And I thought that left me. And whenever I see lights on and things like that, I would take it off and tell the kids, "What are you doing? You need to somebody has to pay the bill. That money could come into something else." And that's why I'm so very strict when it comes to when we have to collect our monies, when we have to collect our oil money and from our other places, when we waste money by corruption in our contracts and things like that. These are not things we are talking. We don't have to join any other newspaper and carry murder it is every day. We're talking about the bread and butter that matters everybody every single day. If you could be able to keep or save some of those money, if you could happen to get some better deal that's coming from an oil company, do you know how far better that we could be able to do it? We could start the government could start saying, do you don't have to pay taxes on a Jeep that you bring in on this country? We know if you bring in a Jeep that's worth maybe $5 million that you buy it for, you'd have to end up paying about $15 million in duties before it could even enter into Guyana. You don't have to pay taxes anymore because there's so much money that's there. But imagine a man coming into your country, taking out everything, and your government does nothing about it, or the authorities take some bribes. So what is wrong with us? What is wrong with our government? And I'm not talking about this government. I'm saying generally looking back at what we would have done, what we would have allowed, turning a blind eye, not allowing, putting our foot down and say we're not going to tolerate that. Unfortunately, I'm down to program time. We down to program time. It has been a tough day. I know a lot of people's attention would have been paying what our president, if an Ali would have been saying, along with the vice president, by Jack Dio. And tomorrow when we come, we're going to have some discussions on that. I have absolutely no idea. In the meantime, you guys, especially in Barbados and wherever it is, stay cool. We are going to bring the perpetrators. I understand there has been some confessions. Let's see where that goes. So we come down. It's a Wake Up Guyana show. Been coming to you here from our studio down in Saffron Street, Charleston. And I'm operating remotely from my home in Diamond. I've been locked down more than a week now. Haven't been tested positive for COVID. Still feeling a little dry. There's some things that happen to you while I may not have the fever and the aches and things like that. Your body feels some other stuff. So I am feeling a little dry, a little dehydrated. I'm using a lot of liquid. But let's say good day to everybody who joined us. Thank you. It has been a pleasure. And this is a wrap. This is your edition of the Wake Up Guyana show. I hope that we've been able to uplift your spirits as you have uplifted ours down at the radio. And all across Guyana and overseas, wherever you're joining us from, whether it's Canada, US, across Caribbean, Europe, our neighbors. Good day to you. Have a pleasant rest of the day. Till we back tomorrow at 1 o'clock to bring you next edition of the Wake Up Guyana show. I'm your host, Leonard Gildarie. Thank you very much. So, boys on in studio there. Joshua, how are you doing? Thank you very much. Have a pleasant rest of the day. All.